Of course, I, like many of you, watched both episodes of The Last Dance last night. And it's pretty cool, actually, right? Like, we're reacting to 25-year-old data, stories, information, and acting like it's new. But a lot of it was new. A lot of it is new to many of you. Like, I was kind of blown away on how many people did not know. I had no idea that Scottie Pippen took himself out of a 1994 playoff game. Right? Lots of people, they didn't know. And I was like, you didn't know? No, I didn't know. Yeah. Play wasn't for him. And you want to talk about the B word that Horace Grant used. That's what that move is called. What it's called. But I thought the most emotional part of the night, there's two parts. Jordan winning the first title after his father passed away. Most of us had seen that video before, him rolling around in the training room floor, clutching a basketball. None of us, I don't believe, had heard the audio of him openly wailing. Openly wailing. And what's interesting about that is, like, I shared with you guys a story from last week when, for, I don't know, a minute, 5 minutes, it felt like too long, I couldn't find my son who was out on a surfboard in Newport Beach, and I panicked. And when he came in and he was fine, I was on my knees wailing like, dude, don't you understand how much I love you? So he's still a little bit shaken by it, but my takeaway for him is really simple. It's like, if you didn't know before, now you know. Right? That your dad and mom will do anything for you, because that's how we feel about you. But probably in terms of basketball and emotion in basketball, the practice footage combined with some of the remarks, combined with Jordan himself getting emotional, talking about what it takes to be the greatest of all time.
Winning has a price, and leadership has a price. So I pulled people along when they didn't want to be pulled. I challenge people when they don't want to be challenged. And I earned that right because my teammates came after me. They didn't endure all the things that I endured.
Michael Jordan is down in pain. Michael Jordan got taken out. He's hurt. And Jordan came down hard and is injured. The Pistons have moved on, but you really got to feel for this man right here to be playing his heart out.
Once you join the team, you live at a certain standard that I played the game. And I wasn't going to take any less. Now, that means I had to go in there and get in your ass a little bit, and I did that.
Yeah. And I think that everyone I know, when they're a kid, has a dream of being great at something. And look, I've been told, and it's accurate, hey, your kid can be great, and it doesn't have to be at athletics, and they can just be a good human being and use athletics as a kid to help them learn about the world. And I'm fine with that. But everyone wants to be great. And I've explained this to my son. Like, you're going to lose some friends over it. What do you mean? It's like, well, it doesn't just come down to how Michael Jordan drove his teammates. It starts, at the infancy of, what do you want to do in the afternoon? You could go and ride your skateboard. You could go and play Fortnite. You could go in your buddy's pool. You could do a lot of things. Or you get in the gym or out in front, you can work on your game. So it starts there, and then it fast forwards to when you're part of a team and you're the best player. I thought the biggest part was when he said, I never asked a player or a teammate to do something I wasn't willing to do myself. You go and watch the footage of him running sprints. And granted, I'm sure there's some footage of him running sprints where he doesn't finish first. But for the best player in the world to be finishing first in the sprints says something about him. Do as I say and as I do. And I think that people legitimately want to be the best. They like to work hard, but they don't understand that sometimes you're going to have to cut bait with guys that aren't on board, and sometimes you're going to have to grab guys by the shirt tail and pull them along with you. It is not a popularity contest. Now, look, there's a balance there. Jay Cutler, not well liked. Not well liked. I would even say Kobe Bryant, to a percentage, to a certain extent, was a worse incarnation of Jordan, right? In terms of his bedside manner and people skills. Just was. Because he did not go to college, because he didn't grow up his entire life in the United States, because there wasn't really another sport for him, there wasn't a balance to him that even Jordan, as singularly focused as he was to win a title, he still did play golf. Right? He did gamble. Like, these are things Kobe didn't have those habits. Didn't have any other. He was ball. And that's it. They'll work hard, but they don't understand that the price is not always to be well liked. I mean, look, if there's a flaw to LeBron James, it's that he wants to be liked. He thinks you can do both. And you can have some likable characteristics, but you can't openly think about making other people like you. They either do or they don't. They either enjoy their experience, and not everyone will. Not everyone will. Even LeBron James, as many great things as he does for other people, as many wins as he's had, and he's tried harder to be well-liked than Michael Jordan is, or has, or ever will be, there's people that don't like the LeBron James experience. They just don't. You can't make everybody like you. So the question becomes, how far are you willing to go? And apparently Michael Jordan is willing to go to whatever and past whatever limits normally seen as enough. That's what separates him. Look, it's human nature to want to be well-liked. Who doesn't want to be well-liked? Right? Who doesn't want to be well-liked? Why do you think he gets so emotional and says, that's a wrap? What he said, let's break? Because I think now you realize, looking back, like, yeah, there's a lot of guys that don't like him. Right? There's some inner strife there. I don't know how it relates to the fact that his ex-wife's not on the dock. I'm sure that was partially sacrificed. I'm sure there's some sacrifice to his relationships with his children, with his boys. No question. And if you said to me, hey, LeBron is a better father, he's around for his kids more, I'm not going to argue with you. I am not judging, one, based upon what I see, but two, I'm not judging who the best parent is. LeBron seems to be a better parent. Looks like he's a better husband. Looks like he's a more enjoyable dude. But if your profession is basketball player and your desire is to be the best basketball player of all time, in the pantheon of things, you can be likable, but you don't have to be well-liked. When you talk about making sacrifices, Tom Brady told Howard Stern Giselle was pissed that he had to check himself. His marriage was suffering. That's how singularly focused and selfish even Tom Brady was. And look, he's trying to make it work, but he didn't switch teams simply because he wanted to switch teams. I'm sure he switched teams because he was trying to make her happy. She wanted to be warm. She wanted to be in Miami. She wanted to be away from Belichick, where you have a little bit more fun and a little less work. And this is the best possible secondary, maybe tertiary option. Look, it's not for MJ. Right? Michael Jordan wanted to be the best, made no excuses about not being the best. When his body wasn't right, coming back from baseball, and he got the ball stolen from him by Nick Anderson with a 1-point lead, and then threw the ball away, down one, he didn't come back and make excuses. He got into the gym in the summer while filming a movie, and then proceeded to take his team to the best record in the history of the NBA and an NBA championship. Sheer force of will and determination. Did they poll his teammates to see how much fun he was that year? They did not. Again, there's a limit to how much of a DB you can be. Jay Cutler, Jeff George, perfect example of some of that. There's some others as well that are unrepentant DBs. So I do think that Jordan, when the lights weren't on, the popcorn wasn't popping, whether it was playing cards or hanging out with the fellas or playing golf, there was an ability to not always be that guy. But when they were between the lines, it was about business. The business of winning and the process of leading while trying to win. Winning in leadership has a price. And sometimes it's not being well liked.